Hi, hello everybody. Good day with the arthritis today, so make the most of the nice autumn weather and get out on the bike. I can get my leg over, well, not like that, but I can get my leg over the bike without hurting my hip. And I saw a video recently, some guy travelling around on his Enfield, and he was visiting military places of interest, and we got quite a lot of that sort of thing down here in Medway. And I thought I'd get out and about on mine, and yeah, I'm copying someone else blatantly. However, because I found it interesting, I sort of felt like I wanted to do it too. So today I'm off to visit the Medway Queen paddle steamer. It's not a long ride from my house, it's barely 12-13 minutes, and without the traffic lights I could probably do it in 6. But the Medway Queen, yeah, she's 100 years old, launched in 1924. Launched originally as a paddle steamer cruise up and down the Thames estuary, around that area, until being requisitioned by the Navy at the start of the Second World War for minesweeping duties. But what she became on to be really famous for was the daring exploits, rescuing the troops stranded at Dunkirk in 1940. This little ship, one of 1,000 little ships, she's not that little, but still regarded as a little ship. She crossed the channel 7 times non-stop and rescued a record 7,000 troops, which quite rightly earned her the nickname the Heroine of Dunkirk. She's been lovingly cared for and restored by this fabulous group of restorers, amateur enthusiasts, give up their time. We've met them a couple of times because the job that my wife and I do, a small catering business, we've been lucky enough to work on the Medway Queen, to do some catering jobs for her, for the fundraising events, and she needs a lot of money still spent. I know that the next big project is to get a boiler, and that's going to be £1 million. So for any of you out there listening to this, I've got £1 million to spare. I'm sure they would be really grateful of the donation to get this grand old lady up and running again. What a fabulous sight that would be, seeing her going up and down the Medway. If you are lucky enough to get on board, well, I say lucky enough, it's only £7 and it's a yearly ticket. £7. There's a little visitor centre which is manned by very friendly, knowledgeable people. They really know the history of this beautiful old vessel. But yeah, £7 gets you on board. There's no rush to get you off. You can have a cup of tea on there, just sit and soak in the atmosphere. And we've been on it a couple of times, and I can honestly say it is like walking back in time. There's a real nostalgic feel. It's quite beautiful. I can imagine when they allow parties, I don't suppose it will be 21st birthday parties, but I could certainly see you could have some really nice evenings on there, all helping with the fundraising. And even just a visit for £7 helps with the fundraising, and you feel like you're helping to preserve a really important part of this country's history. This little ship that went into the teeth of war. She's a paddle steamer, she's not an ocean going vessel, to do the right thing. It's a stuff of legends. She is a legend, and it stirs the memory, stirs the mind, and I've never come away from there thinking, well, what's the point of that? I've always thought this is brilliant, and I admire the people that are keeping her going. Her nickname, the Heroine of Dunkirk, I think it's fully justifiable when you consider the 7 trips were made over 8 consecutive nights. The danger and sheer exhaustion that the crew would have faced must have taken an enormous toll. But some of the crew, of course, they didn't manage all 7 trips. The Medway Queen, after all, is a small ship with a small crew, but no less than 7 of her men were rewarded for their gallantry. I know she didn't just serve in the Second World War, she was a pleasure ship after all before that, and she became a pleasure ship again afterwards. Bit of a checkered history leading up to her demise, but she was also a nightclub off the Isle of Wight, late 60s, 60s, early 70s. I know it is all part of her history, 100 years of history, but it's the World War II stuff that really captures my imagination. Her first task was actually in 1939, where she was taking evacuated children from Gravesend to East Anglia. On her first trip over, she rescued approximately 600 soldiers from Dapan Beach. On her arrival back at Dover, it coincided with an air raid, and she was responsible for shooting down a German bomber just outside of the harbour, and the paddle steamer the Brighton Belle ran across the wreckage and began to sink. And the Medway Queen rescued all of the people without loss of life. And even though she was heavily overladen, she made it into harbour and all was saved. On her second trip, she took 450 soldiers directly off the beach, which was far more dangerous and required an awful lot more skill, but it obviously was faster. So here she is, not the Enfield, Medway Queen. Here you can see the reception centre where you get your tickets, loads of information and stuff in there, and just to the right is the giant hangar where they magically restore the Medway Queen, and I'm going to use the magic of film to take you back to Tuesday the 23rd of April, St George's Day. Before I finish up on today's commentary, I just wanted to apologise for the terrible image quality on a few scenes. Right, I'm quite new to this thing. I'll probably press the wrong button somewhere. Must try better, note to self. So, the Medway Queen, is she worth a visit? Absolutely. Do you need very long to be there? Not really. Spend as long as you like, as little as you like, go back as often as you like. £7. But in your heart, you know that £7 has gone a small way to preserving a wonderful piece of British history.